Hello friends, welcome back. So now we will start JDBC API of Java programming language. So before to start the coding part, we will see the definitions or introduction of JDBC and why we need this JDBC and what is the use of this JDBC. So JDBC stands for Java Database Connectivity. Java database connectivity, and it is a technology which is used to interact with database. JDBC is a technology that can be used to interact with the database. So what is database? Database is nothing but the storage of a data. Database is a storage of a data called database, and JDBC API is available under java.sql and javax.sql package. So JDBC is stands for Java Database Connectivity, and this is a technology or API that can be used to interact with the database. And JDBC API is available under java.sql and javax.sql package. JDBC API can access any kind of tabular data, especially data stored in a relational database. Relational database in the sense the data that is stored in form of tables, and the table has a relationship, so that is called a relational database, and the data will be saved in the form of table, so that is called it is a tabular data. So any kind of tabular data or the data that is relational data, JDBC can access that one. JDBC API is the part of a standard edition, and JDBC is a specification provided by Java vendor and implemented by database vendor. So how exactly what is the meaning of this specification? Means Java vendor is giving only the specifications, only the interfaces, but the implementation has to be given by the database vendor. Who is building the database, that only has to give the database implementation. Suppose if it is a MySQL, then MySQL vendor has to give the implementation for this JDBC, and if it is an Oracle database, then Oracle database vendor has to give the implementation, or if it is a Postgre, then Postgre developer has to give the implementation for JDBC to connect with the Postgre databases. So any or if it can be an SQL server. So any database, whatever the companies or whatever the developers are making the database or building the database, they only have to give the implementation for JDBC, and that implementation is nothing but the driver only. Implementation is the nothing but the driver. So that implementation has to be given by database vendor, and JDBC help you to write the application that manage these three programming activities: connecting to the database, sending query to the database, and retrieving and processing the result returned from database. So what are the three core activities that you have to do using JDBC? First, you have to connect to database, then you have to send query to the database, and after sending the query, your database will return some result, and that result you have to take and you have to process according to the requirement. So this is the use of JDBC here. So JDBC is nothing but a technology that can be used to interact with the database, and this is available under java.sql and javax.sql package, and any kind of tabular data or relational data JDBC can access. This is the part of standard edition, and this is JDBC is the specification, and the implementation has to be given by the database vendor. Okay, so from this diagram also you can understand any Java application. If you have any Java application and that application you want to connect to some database, or you want to use some database to store the data, then you need JDBC in between. Okay, so JDBC API provide a programmatic access to relational data. Relational data means the data that is saved in form of tables and that has a relation, so that is called relational data. relational data from the Java programming language. Using the JDBC API, application can execute SQL statement, retrieve result, and propagate change back to the underlying data structure. Means we can access the data, we can manipulate the data, we can update the data, delete the data, insert data, any kind of card operations that is belonging to SQL database server or SQL statement that you can execute using JDBC. And JDBC API can also interact with multiple data source and distributed heterogeneous environment that we will see later. Okay, so JDBC API is the part of a Java platform which includes Java Standard Edition and Enterprise Edition both. JDBC 4.0 API is divided into two packages. So in the JDBC 4.0, this SQL javax.sql package is added, and both packages are used in Java Standard Edition and Enterprise Editions. Okay, so here we have seen one definition of JDBC. JDBC is a technology which is used to interact with the database. And what is database? Database is nothing but the storage of data. And what is data? If we have to define data, then data is nothing but that can be fact related to any object in consideration. For example, your name, age, height, width, weight, name, age, height, weight, your mobile number, your email, your home address, your any other detail, your Aadhaar number, your PAN number. So any details that is called data, etc. are some data related to you. A picture, image, file, PDF can also be considered as a data. In general, data is any set of characters that is generated, that is gathered and translated for some purpose. Data we have to collect for some purpose, usually for analyticals, for analyze. It can be a character including text and number or picture. It can be characters, including text, number, picture, sound or video. That is also considered as a data, and that has to be collected for a specific purpose. If data is not put into context, it doesn't do anything to human or computer. Means data, if you are not putting into context, you are not arranging that one, then the data has no use even for human or even for computer also. So this is called data. Data is any fact related to any object in consideration, that is a data, like person, age, name, height, width, mobile number, email, anything that is a data only, or picture, image, video file, anything that is a data. Okay, and what is database? We have already seen database is an organized collection of data. We can say that also. Means if we have to define database deeply, we can say that also. Database is nothing but an organized collection of data, so that it can be easily accessed and managed. Data is a systematic collection of data. We can say that also. Database is a systematic collection of data, and database supports storage and manipulation of data. Database make data management easy. So what is the definition of database? Database is an organized collection of data, and it can be easily accessed and managed. Database is a systematic collection of data that is organized, that is well formatted and well stored. We can say that also. So database is a systematic collection of data. Database support storage and manipulation and any other operation and filtering, retrieving, so all that operations database has. Database makes management easy. Management makes everything. So you can add, you can delete, you can retrieve, you can update. So any types of operation you can perform on database. You can organize data into table, row and column. So this is a relational database. And index to make it easy and to find relative information fastly. So that is index. Okay, so this is a database. In some separate course we will see SQL, and we will see thoroughly what is the types of SQL statements, how we can add the data, how we can get the data, how we can delete the data, how we can create index. So that we will see in SQL course separately, but in this one we will just see the basic definition. What is data, what is a database, and how we can install database. So that this basic things we will see here, because we have to learn JDBC here. So that's why we will not go much in deeply in the database, how we can create the queries, what are the types of queries, what is the select query, what is the meaning of where. So that is the query format that we will see in SQL course, but here we will see the definitions basic. So you can organize. So if we define the database, then we can say database is nothing but an organized collection of a data that can be easily accessed and managed. Database is a systematic collection of a data. Database supports storage and manipulation of a data, and database makes data management easy. You can organize data into table, row, column and index. It to make easy to find and relative information. Index is used to do that one. You want to search some records fastly, performance you want to increase, then you can create index for that also. Okay, so there are many databases available like MySQL, Oracle, MongoDB, Sybase, Informix, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. So n number of databases are available, but here we will use MySQL only. We will use MySQL. In this JDBC we will use MySQL, and in the course of SQL we will learn through MySQL only, because the queries SQL is the standard queries, that is the specification that is given that you can learn, and for all the databases that query format is same only. Minor changes will be there, but that almost will be same only. Okay, so we will see this later, but here in this JDBC course we will use MySQL. Okay, so this is about database. Now next is a database management system. What is database management system? Database management system is nothing but a program or collection of a program, or you can say it is an application. Database management system is nothing but collection of programs, or it is an application that enables user to access data, manipulate data, and reporting and representation of a data. Means database management system is nothing but an application or a program that can be used to access the data, manipulate the data, or to do any operation on the data. So that is called database management system. It also helps to control access to the database. Database management systems are not new concept, because the first database was developed in 1960s by Charles Benchmans. That is called IDS, integrated data storage. It is said to be first database management system in history. It was developed in 1960. With the time, database technologies evolved a lot. Means now in the database management system, so many new concepts added. Normalization, some better way to store, better way to retrieve. So that technologies are changing over times and times. So that is the main concept of a database. Database management system is nothing but it's a program or it's an application that enable user to access the database and to manipulate the database or to do any operation on the data. Okay, so this is called database management system. Next one is RDBMS, relational database management system. What is the meaning of relational database management system? Relational database management system is designed specifically for relational database. What is relational database? A relational database is nothing but the data that are stored in the form of tables, and the tables will have the relationship. That may have relationship or may not have relationship. It's not compulsory. You have created two tables, but you don't want to define the relation between them. You don't define. If you want to define, you can define. But if you say it's a relational database, it means the data will be stored in form of tables. So that is called RDBMS. that is a database management system only, but that database management system will use the tables to store the data. Okay, a relational database refer to the data. So relational database refer to a database that store data in a structured format using row and column, that makes it easy to locate and access specific value within the database. It is a relational because the value within each table are related to each other. Table may also be related to other table. The relational structure make it possible to run query across multiple table at once. So here are the some difference we have given between the DBMS and RDBMS. Database is data will be stored as a file, but here data will be stored as a tabular form. In DBMS, data is generally stored in either hierarchical form or as a navigational form, but in RDBMS data will be stored as a primary key and data value stored in form of tables. Normalization is not possible for DBMS, but for RDBMS normalization is possible. DBMS does not apply any security, but it is applying some security, that is ACID security: atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. So we will see this one later. And database management system file to store, so that there is no relationship, no relation between the tables. But in RDBMS, data will be stored in form of tables, so the relationship will be there using foreign key and primary key. Database management system has to provided some uniform method to access, but RDBMS system support tabular data structure, and that you have to access through queries only, but here you have to define some methods to access the database. DBMS does not support distributed, but RDBMS store distributed. Distributed means more than one databases will be there in your application, and you have to communicate through communicate to more than one databases, so you have to handle that transaction very carefully. So this is the distributed database. For RDBMS, distributed is supported, but for DBMS, distributed database is not supported. DBMS is meant for the small organization or for small application or for few users, but RDBMS is developed for the huge application, for huge organization, or for a large number of users. For the example of DBMS are XML, you can store data in XML, you can store data in JSON also, or in blank text file you can store. But for RDBMS you have to use MySQL, Postgre, SQL Server, Oracle, or any other database. So this is the RDBMS. Next is database driver. So here if you see the definition of so here we have said in JDBC introduction, JDBC is a specification provided by Java vendor and implementation has to be provided by database vendor and implemented by database vendor. So what is the driver here? Driver is nothing but the implementation only. Database driver is nothing but the computer program that implements a protocol of ODBC or JDBC. ODBC was old, open database connectivity, so that is different. Now it is JDBC. JDBC means Java database connectivity. So database driver is nothing but the implementation or a computer program. So database driver is nothing but the implementation of JDBC to connect the database. The driver works like an adapter. Database driver is nothing like it is like an adapter only, which connects generic interface to a specific database vendor implementation. To make a database connection in Java application, we need JDBC driver. To connect with individual database, JDBC requires driver for each specific database type. Note, the database vendor give a database driver to connect application with three with their database. So here we will use MySQL driver, because we will use MySQL database, so we have to use MySQL driver only, and MySQL driver is given by MySQL only. So this is the meaning of a database driver. There is a implementation of JDBC, and these are the version of JDBC. The first version of JDBC 1.2 came into JDK 1.1, and in Java Standard Edition 8 JDBC 4.2 is released. Okay, and if we see the evaluation of JDBC, then suppose if we take the example of C or C++ programming language. So if you are developing any application using C or C++ programming, and you have to use any database, so what you have to do, you have to use database library into your application. There is no other way that you can communicate to database externally. So you just have to use the database library into your application, and that application will your application will directly communicate to a database. So from this diagram, if you see C or C++ application using Oracle library. Why? Because application wants to connect to Oracle database, so Oracle library it will be used into your application directly. So later on, if you want to change, suppose currently this application is using Oracle Drive or Oracle database, but I want to switch to MySQL or Postgre or some SQL server. So then how it is possible? You have to rewrite the code again into your application. Wherever you are using that Oracle library, that code you have to change to MySQL library. So this will be give the maintenance issue. So suppose now we are using MySQL, so we have to use MySQL library into our application. So this increase the maintenance of application. To avoid this maintenance, Microsoft has given ODBC, Open Database Connectivity Driver. Open Database Connectivity Driver has to be used in your application with the database configuration. So now what you will do, the ODBC driver will be used in your application. See, your application C or C++ will use ODBC driver, and that ODBC driver has the configuration for database. So your ODBC driver will communicate with database. Your application will not directly communicate to database. So that's for that purpose ODBC is given. But now you can see your maintenance of that application, that botheration is removed here, because just you have to change the configuration into your ODBC driver, and your ODBC driver will communicate to that database. But here is the issue, because this ODBC is running only on Windows operating system. It is not running on Linux or any other Mac operating system. It's not running. So how you can avoid this this dependency, because this is the operating system dependency is there. So to do that one, Sun Microsystem has given JDBC API, and that JDBC API is nothing but that is not dependent on any operating system, and that is a pure Java code only, so that can be run on any platform. So JDBC API and JDBC driver are Java based program and can run on any operating system. So for that purpose, Java application will use JDBC API, and then JDBC API will use JDBC driver, and JDBC driver is nothing but the implementation of JDBC, and that can run on any of the applications. So just you have to change the JDBC driver only. You no need to do configuration at all. You have to add the driver. Even you no need to configure the driver. Just you have to add the driver. That's it. The dependency, the library, the jar files, the jar file of MySQL you just have to add. Or if you want to use Oracle, then you have to add that library. That's all. That's just you have to add. Automatically it will infer automatically from the database, whatever the database URL is there, from that one it will take. So this is the advantage we are getting here. So this is JDBC driver. if you see the architecture of JDBC, then if you see the two-tier architecture of data access, then your application will access JDBC and your JDBC will access database management system, DBMS. And if it is a three-tier, then you can see your front end, any GUI is there, any front end application or any GUI will access to your application, and your application will access JDBC and JDBC will access the database. So this is the three-tier architecture. Okay, so here what we will do now, we will install DBMS of MySQL. Before to starting the JDBC tutorial, we need MySQL. MySQL 8 is the latest version. In 8, some 8.27 some version is there, so the latest one we will take, and its driver jar file into our project we will add. That's it. So first we have to do installation. So to do the installation for MySQL, we have to follow some steps. So first one, we have to download the MySQL from this link. So this is the official link of the MySQL and you can download from here. So to download this one, you have to select your operating system accordingly, and here operating system version you have selected all, and you can go for this last one also, because this is the minimal installation. Minimal installation is a 49.7 MB only, but if you select any other version, then it may vary. It may be from 1 GB to smaller half GB or something like that. So you can download this also, compressed tar, that also you can download, no issue. And if you want to download test suite, and if you want to download both, you can do that one. But we are recommending to learning purpose, you can just install this minimal. This is just 50 MB only, 49.7 MB. You can download this one, no issue. And after downloading, what you have to do, you have to first you have to check whether in your operating system previously any MySQL was installed or not. If it is installed, then you may face some difficulties, or you may face some challenges while installing the MySQL. So what you have to do, you have to remove the oldest version of MySQL first. Even if it is there, even if it is not there, then you can try for the second step. So what you have to do, first you have to go into this etc directory. Under etc directory, you remove my.cnf file if it is there. If it is not there, then leave it, or you have to delete this directory also, etc, under etc MySQL. What it will do, it will remove any directory. It will remove MySQL directory if it is there in your operating system. Means if it is previously installed, then definitely it will be there. So you can delete that directory and just execute these commands to remove the configuration. Here you are removing the configuration manually, but you can try these steps also. If you are facing difficulty to install, then you can go for these steps, otherwise not required. Okay, directly go to the third step. What it is saying, just extract the downloaded tar file. This is tar.xz file. This is the tar.xz file. This one, MySQL, this one, minimal.tar.xz file. So you will download this file and you have to extract this file into your favorite directory, anywhere you can install, anywhere you can extract. After extracting, what you have to do, you have to move this extracted. After extracting this jar file, you will get one directory, you will get one folder named this one. You will get one folder, and that folder you have to move into this directory under user local MySQL. This is the recommended. You can move to any other directory also, no issue, but sometime it may run, or sometime it may install, it may not install. So that's why we are recommending to install at this location only using sudo. Because why we are sudo command here, because sudo command is used to run any command as an administrator, because inside your operating system, Linux operating system, some directories are there where you cannot execute any commands. You need admin permission to do that one. So sudo will give you that permission. After typing sudo mv file name and destination folder name, your terminal will ask your password, so you have to give that permission, and after giving that permission your file will be moved. So you have to try with this sudo command. So just using this sudo mv command, move that extracted folder into this directory. If it is not there, you just create in under user local mysql, under local you create mysql if it is not there. Okay, and after creating this folder, after creating this directory, you put that extracted directory into this one using sudo mv command. After that one, you have to open the terminal under user local mysql. Wherever you have moved your directories, open the terminal into that directory. So that is user local mysql. After opening the terminal, you have to execute these command sequential order, in the same order you can execute this command. So so I will put these commands and these steps into the description of this video, no issue. So you can take from there. So you just execute this command in the same sequence. After executing this command, you have to initialize your MySQL server. So you can initialize MySQL server using this command or using this command. The difference is there. Here you are not giving any configuration file. Here you are giving the configuration file. Configuration file means what should be the port number. By default port 3306 something is there. But if you want to start your MySQL server at some specific port, then you can give this initialization file, default file. This default file, you have to give one path to my configuration file, and this configuration file will be used. If you are not giving the default file, it will be used from opt something. We have given this one from this folder etc.my.config. Okay, so so it will initialize that one, and after initializing, what you have to do, your terminal will give you a temporary password for your to log into your MySQL server. So that temporary password, what you have to do, you have to note down that one, copy that temporary password into your some notepad or some text file, because we need that password to log in. If we don't remember that password or we don't recognize that password, then we cannot log into at all, because default password we have to set only. So that is temporary password, and we can use that password also, or we can change that password. So that's why we need this password. So please note that password, temporary generated password. So, and after that one, you have to open the terminal into the same directory where into this only user local MySQL. Into this folder only you have to open another terminal, and after opening another terminal, you can execute these statements. But these are not required. That these three statements are optional. You can try, or if you don't try, that is also fine. Your MySQL will be installed. Okay, after that one, you will see you will not see this message. We are typing this message only. Your MySQL server is installed and it is up and running, because you have opened the terminal already and you have initialized it. No, so in that initialization only your server is started. Okay, and you can stop that server by closing the terminal. If you close the terminal, your MySQL server will be stopped, and you can again you can start your MySQL server using this command. And this command you have to use again under the MySQL user local MySQL. Under MySQL you have to go to bin also. Sorry, bin user local MySQL. Under MySQL you have one bin folder will be there. Under that bin folder you have to execute this command. After executing this command, your server will be up and started. Okay, and after starting the server, you can open another terminal and you can log into your MySQL server by this command. Here you need your temporary password. That temporary password you have to use here, MySQL D user. Sorry, not MySQL D. MySQL D is used to start the server, and MySQL is used to log in the server. So MySQL user, which is the username root, password is temporary password, whatever you copied from the terminal, that temporary password. And after login to this password, you can alter the password. You can change that password using this statement, alter user root at localhost identified by root. If you give here ABC, then your password will be ABC. XYZ, your password will be XYZ. So we are giving here root, so it will be root only. and you can set the MySQL home path also. Suppose what you have to do, suppose every time whenever you have to start MySQL server, you have to go to user local MySQL bin, under user, under local, under MySQL bin, under bin you have to go and you have to execute this command there only, always. So to remove this one, you can set the path into your configuration file, into your path variable. Under the path variable if you set, then you can execute this command from anywhere. Okay, so that is fine. So so this is the installation is done. If you are still facing any difficulty to install MySQL, then you can go to this link also. There also they are suggesting some steps, you can follow this one. This is the same only, whatever we are given, this same steps it is following. So you can use these steps to install, no issue. Okay, after that one you have to install Workbench. What is Workbench? Workbench is nothing but, so Workbench is nothing but it is like a tool, or it is like an IDE where you can execute your SQL statements to see. So what you have to, Workbench is looking like this only. So this is your Workbench. Here you can execute any queries. It's like here show databases. We will see this one when we will start JDBC, we will see. So Workbench also you have to install. So Workbench installation is very much fine and it is very simple, because this is a deb file, it's a deb package. So you can download this deb package from this link, and here when you open that link you have to select your operating system. Our operating system is Linux, so we have to select Linux, and you have to select the operating system version. So you can select your version accordingly, and when you select your version, so you can download any of them, but most probably this 28 MB, this package will be compatible with Linux 20.04 operating system version. So you can download this one and you can just double click, and after double clicking it will be started. Your installation will be started and automatically it will install. You no need to follow any steps after that one. Okay, so this is the installation for Workbench. After installing Workbench, we can set up the tables. So this table setup we will do through JDBC only, because JDBC we have, as we have already discussed, through JDBC you can interact to database, you can execute any queries, you can retrieve, you can set the data. So this setup we will do through the JDBC. Here some coffee table will be there, supplier table, coffee inventory table, and March inventory table, and coffee house table. So this is the table and these are the records. So we will create the table, we will insert the record. So all that operation we will do through the JDBC only. So in the next session what we will do, we will start with JDBC. What we will do, first we will download one driver for MySQL, because we have installed MySQL and we want to use MySQL. So we need MySQL driver. So that driver we will download, and that driver we will use in our JDBC program, and we will connect to JDBC and we will start learning the JDBC. So I hope you like this session. Please subscribe my channel and we will see you in the next session. Till that, bye bye and thanks for watching.